Hey, what is going on, guys? This video today is going to be a discussion centered around the Builder Pro button layout on console Fortnite. Plenty of additions to the game have changed Fortnite over the past few months, but when it comes to console Fortnite at least, nothing was more game-changing than the introduction of Builder Pro a few months back. By binding all four of the possible building pieces to specific buttons on the Xbox/PS4 controller, Builder Pro has made it possible for console players to build pretty much as fast as their PC counterparts. However, despite how undeniably great of an addition Builder Pro was, it also has its fair share of glitches and flaws that I believe would be incredibly simple fixes on Epic's end. Due to the fact that at this point in Fortnite, most console players have undoubtedly made the switch to Builder Pro, I believe that these changes would benefit a large majority of the player base and would be very well received overall. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright guys, so the first improvement that I would love to see done to Builder Pro is a slight rework to the way pieces are actually placed. For the most part, it's going to take 2 clicks to place a building piece once you've opened your building menu using Builder Pro. Here's the mechanics behind how that works. Let's say you're in a shotgun battle and you need to place a ramp to get one level of high ground over a player that you're fighting against. That would be done by pressing B/circle to open your building menu, tapping LT/L2 once to switch to the ramp, and then tapping LT/L2 again to actually place the ramp. The only time it's going to take you 1 click instead of 2 to place a piece is when you've already switched to that piece. So in the example I just talked about, every ramp after the first one would be 1 tap instead of 2. Now, obviously this process is a little less noticeable when turbo building is involved, but it can still be a pretty annoying problem. I believe that the 2-click building system is probably the biggest reason why even the most experienced players can sometimes struggle with complicated ramp rush pushes. There's just so much piece switching involved in those ramp rushes that therefore there's so much switching between 1 and 2-click building involved. Now, the reason the 2-click building system even exists in the first place is because it gives you the ability to pre-edit or rotate structures before you place them. What I mean by that is, like in the example I gave in the shotgun fight with the ramp, when you click LT the first time to actually switch to the ramp piece, you will have the ability to, let's say, pre-rotate that piece. So if you hold down B, it'll open up the edit menu, and any edit you make as a pre-edit will now make it so that every ramp you place after will have the same edit done to it when you actually place it down onto the ground. Now, the issue here is that I think I speak for most people when I say I really never actually pre-edit or even rotate structures anymore. The only time I'll ever really pre-edit a structure is when I'm turning a pyramid into a downward sloping staircase, and the only time I'll ever really rotate a structure is, I guess, every once in a blue moon I'll turn a staircase from front ways facing to left ways facing if I'm trying to like block fire from somebody shooting at me from the side, because it's a little more effective than turning and placing down actual walls. Other than that, I will never rotate or pre-edit a wall. I'll never rotate or pre-edit a floor piece. So it kind of makes the 2-click building system, even though I understand why Epic has it in the game, something that's a little bit outdated, and they're not really aware about how their player base is actually playing the game. So here is the fairly simple fix that I proposed. I think the best option would be to give players the ability to switch between the current 2-click placement system and the more efficient for building 1-click placement system. With 1-click placement, even if you were, let's say, currently selected onto a floor piece, you would press L2/LT once instead of twice, and a wall would be placed. That sounds great, and it would eliminate a meaningless click and make building faster overall, but what would happen if you want to pre-edit or rotate a piece you're about to place? Well, you would simply click a button. I think something like up or down on the D-pad would be perfect, whichever one isn't currently already occupied by something, to switch back to the 2-click placement system. That way you would be back to having the ability to pre-edit/rotate structures to your heart's content, and since most players rarely need to do that, I envision that the majority of players would almost never need to switch away from the more efficient 1-click placement system. So I think that would make building so much better as a whole, increase increase the skill gap, and I think most players on Builder Pro would love that extra bit of customability onto their button layout. The next thing I want to discuss in this video today is a way to easily fix the editing issue, at least on Builder Pro. So about a week ago, I made a video where I, for about 2 to 3 minutes, just totally ragged on the editing system on console Fortnite. If you guys play a lot of console Fortnite, like I said in the video, you probably know more than I could ever explain to you how broken editing actually is on console Fortnite. And one of the biggest reasons for that is the fact to open the editing menu on a specific piece that you've placed, you need to hold down the B button for a solid 2 seconds, honestly. And that leads to people holding the button too long and freezing the editing menu, people not holding it long enough, and then they're stuck in like purgatory where they haven't opened the menu but they can't get out of it. It's just in general a really bad system to open the editing menu, which is so important to editing in general on Fortnite. Now, a solution that a lot of people propose that I personally don't think would work at all is to change opening up the editing menu from holding down B/circle to instead tapping B/circle. I think the clear issue that would make this a disaster is the fact that B/circle already serves a purpose on Builder Pro, and that is to open up your actual building menu. So let's say you're looking directly at a wall that you've already placed. If you press B, the game will have no clue whether you want to edit the wall or instead want to pull out your pencil and paper to build, say, a ramp or a floor piece. So here's the solution that I personally propose. First off, pulling out your pickaxe would be changed from tapping Y/triangle to instead holding down Y/triangle. I believe this is exactly how it works on the standard button layout, and I played on standard much longer than the average person until about 2 months ago, and never had a problem with that aspect of it, so I doubt anybody on Builder Pro will have a problem with it. From there, now that Y is unoccupied, pulling up the editing menu on building pieces would simply be changed from holding down B/circle to instead tapping Y/triangle. I believe that this is really a simple and easy solution that would fix one of the most frustrating elements of editing on all of console Fortnite, and the only change that it would affect would be instead of tapping Y to pull out your pickaxe, you just have to hold it down for like half a second or a second. As long as they're able to code it for the game to recognize the difference between tapping and holding down Y, it would fix a lot of problems, and I think people would barely notice the difference. The next item on our list of things that would improve Builder Pro would be a change to the way you switch between building materials and the way you rotate building pieces. As it stands right now, you switch between building materials by clicking left and right on the D-pad, while you rotate building pieces by clicking in on the right thumbstick. I believe that one of the quickest and easiest fixes to improve Builder Pro would be to simply switch those two things. When it comes to editing, it can be very difficult to be precise and fast at times due to the fact that it can take multiple clicks to rotate something to your desired position. It makes so much more sense to have rotating bound to something like the D-pad, which has specific buttons for left and right. Therefore, if you want to rotate a staircase to the right, instead of clicking in on the thumbstick multiple times, just click right on the D-pad. You could even go an extra step further by making it so that down and up on the D-pad rotate the staircase 180 degrees in either direction. This makes so much more sense, and I'm really not sure why Builder Pro wasn't added to the game with this feature. Also, clicking down on the right stick is so much quicker to switch material types than clicking left or right on the D-pad, so it's pretty much a double win on that end. And now that stone and metal are both stronger than wood for the first time in the history of Fortnite, I've been doing a lot of switching between material types, so this would help so much with making Builder Pro even better, even smoother, and a little less glitchier at times. The final thing that I want to discuss before we wrap this video up is how much of a disaster the whole special item section in the Builder Pro button layout is. What I mean by special items are traps, launch pads, bounce pads, and campfires. If you guys don't use Builder Pro, or maybe if you don't pay attention very much, you may not know how unbelievably glitchy the special item section of Builder Pro is. It's probably the biggest glitch on the entire building layout, and I believe even after the most recent update, it still has not been fixed. The most common glitch is when you pull out a specific special item, you switch to it, let's say you go from like a trap to a launch pad, and you quickly tap it down to place it. There'll be times it simply randomly switches to another special item instead of the one you wanted to place. This gets me killed so often, way more often than you would ever think. Let's say I'm building up like 10 pieces high, I know I'm about to be shot down, so I switch to a launch pad, quickly place it down, go to jump on it, and oh my god, the game made me place a trap. I jump on it, don't go anywhere because, you know, it's a trap, not a launch pad, and I get shot down and die. So first off, that major glitch needs to be patched because it's one of the most well-known glitches on all of console Fortnite, and to my knowledge, Epic hasn't even indicated that they plan to do anything about it, or even that they know it exists, so that's not very encouraging. But I think switching between the 4 special items in Fortnite could also use a bit of improvement. One really cool suggestion that I saw somewhere online was that since there's exactly 4 special items, it could be bound to buttons exactly like building pieces are bound to buttons on Builder Pro. So once you open up the building menu and press whatever button it is to select over the special items, let's say a trap could be LT, a campfire could be LB, a bounce pad could be RT, and the launch pad could be RB. You know, obviously those could be reworked to be a little more smooth, but it's a really good idea in theory. Even if they don't want to do that, in fear that they end up adding or removing one of the special items, they could simply make it operate the same way switching materials operate, like I suggested previously. Instead of having it be left and right on the D-pad, you could instead switch it to just pressing down on the right stick, which I believe would make so much more sense and just be much easier to navigate through. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave me a comment down in the comment section below. I want to know, yes or no, do you use the Builder Pro button layout in Fortnite Battle Royale if you play on console? I would guess about 75 to 80% of people do, but I really want to see what specifically my viewers are doing, so be sure to leave me a comment saying yes or no. Be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, do whatever the heck you want, and I will catch you guys next time.